Hello everyone. Today I will present on need analysis in curriculum design. So the aim of this part of the curriculum design process is to discover what needs to be learned and what the learners want to learn. So needs analysis is directed mainly at the goals and content of a course. It examines what the learners know already and what they need to know. Needs analysis makes sure that the course will contain relevant and useful things to learn. Good needs analysis involves asking the right questions and finding the answer in the most effective way. So this means we are trying to avoid mismatch between teaching and learning. For example, if students are preparing for academic study, but the teacher's focuses only on casual conversation, the course won't meet the real needs. So good needs analysis ensures that what we teach is both useful and meaningful. And here is the various focuses on needs analysis. Woods, Jensen, and Waters, 1987, divide needs into target needs, what the learners needs to do in the target situation, and learning needs, what the learners needs to do in order to learn. And the analysis of the target needs can look at these three areas. The first one is necessities, the essential skills or knowledge, for, for instance, writing essays at university. And the next one is lacks, the gaps between what students can do now and what they must do. Maybe they can write short paragraphs but struggle with long essays. The next one is wants, what students themselves feel is important. For example, they may want more practice in speaking, even if writing is the academic necessity. Next, another way to look at needs is through present knowledge versus required knowledge, and objective versus subjective needs. Present knowledge tells us where learners are now, while required knowledge tells us where they need to be. Objective needs are measured by tests or observation, while subjective needs come from learners' own perceptions, usually collected through interviews or self-assessment. Next is discovering needs. Discovering learners' needs can be approached through different methods organized around necessities, lacks, and wants. Proficiency, necessities, and lacks focuses on learners' present knowledge and real-life situation where language is used. Involves studying the situation and tasks learner must handle with the knowledge gained. And then the next one is self-report or wants. Learners express their own perceptions of needs. So here is the methods include. The methods included is written responses to structured questions or sentence completion, and then diary writings or extended reports, group activities like voting, ranking, brainstorming, or problem solving, a negotiated syllabus for the most structured form. And there is also observation and analysis, the process watching skilled and unskilled writers perform tasks to identify difficulties, and then products analyzing target tasks, for example, assignments, exam, to see what language is required. So let me give you example. Suppose we are teaching an academic writing course. To find necessities, we might analyze real university assignment to see what kind of writing is required to, to identify lacks. We can look at students' current essay and see where they struggle. To capture wants, we can ask students through questionnaires and what they feel they need more practice with, maybe vocabulary, grammar, or structure. Next one is need analysis tools. Need analysis in English for academic purposes involves identifying necessities, lacks, and wants through a range of tools. Necessities, what learners must do at university. We can give like target tasks include listening to lecture, joining tutorials, writing assignments, and taking exams. And to analyze necessities, teacher can examine assignments, types of discourse, description, analysis, comparison, and persuasion. Analyze vocabulary used in good assignment with tools like frequency or range program. Interview lecturers about their expectation, for example, discipline, specific writing styles. And then review course outlines and guidelines. Study past successful assignments as models. Considers the time frames learners have to have for drafts and preparation, and evaluate whether past EAP courses improve students' performance. So this shows us that needs analysis is like detective work. We collect evidence from many sources, from students, teachers, examiners, even the course outlines. And by combining this, we can design more realistic and effective lessons. And here is the next one. Lax means where learners are now. Um, Lax shows where learners are now. So this can be seen by analyzing their assignments, analyze current students' assignments, can be grammar, information, and discourse. Observe students during the writing process, noting conditions, strategies, and challenges. Gather lecturers' feedback on strengths and weaknesses of assignments. Next, ask learners directly about their interpretation of tasks. Use tests such as vocabulary, grammar, comprehension, and writing, or standardized exams like IELTS or TOEFL, and encourage self-assessment thoughts checklists. So, yeah, for example, students may already have good vocabulary but lacks incoherence in writing. Another students may write fluently but with many grammar mistakes. Knowing these gaps help teachers focus instruction where it is needed most. Next one is one where learners. This one is the ones. Oh, should be ones, yeah. Ones reflects learners' own priorities on different skills from what the analyze it identifies, and use interviews and carefully design questionnaires to capture preferences, compare learners' perspectives with teachers or analysts to balance expectation. Sometimes learners' wants and necessities do not match. A students may want more speaking practice, but their academic goal requires strong writing. In such cases, teacher must balance both perspectives, respecting learners' motivation while still preparing them for real task. So here, effective need analysis uses a wide range of tools. For the sources, it can be learners itself, and then teachers, examiners, past tasks, and future tasks. For the method, we can use text analysis, interviews, questionnaires, observation, surveys, and reflections. And for the timing, you can conduct it before the course, at the start, during the task, and then at the end for improvement. Next one is evaluating needs analysis. We can evaluate needs analysis by looking at validity, reliability, and practicality. Reliability, consistency of the result requires standardized tools and systematic procedures. For example, instead of casual conversation, is checklists or structured analysis. The more observation and participant included, the more reliable the result. Yeah, so reliability means the results are consistent. For example, instead of casual observing, we use checklists or standard tools. The next one is validity, means the analysis looks at what really matters. We should not just measure what is easy, but what is more important for learners. The next one is practicality, feasibility, and usefulness. It should be low cost, time efficient, and not burdensome for teachers or learners. Result must be clear and easy to apply in curriculum design, and there is always tension between practicality and the other two criteria, but validity should take priority. The next one is issues in need analysis. So there are three main issues. The first one is common core versus specialized language. The next one is narrow focus versus wide focus, and critical needs analysis. So here, uh, on common core versus specialized language, a learner should usually start with a common core vocabulary, for example, for about 2,000 words, then move to academic vocabulary, and finally to disciplines specific words. And second, a narrow focus quickly meets specific needs but risk limiting learners' flexibility, and a wider focus prepares them to long-term language growth. And the third one is critical needs analysis. It reminds us that the process is influenced by power and ideology. The questions asked often reflect the analyst's perspective. To avoid bias, it is important to involve different stakeholders, for example, teachers, learners, and institutions. So next one is a conclusion and step. Needs analysis is essential because it ensures a course relevant and satisfying for learners. Without it, there is a risk of designing a course that does not meet their needs. So here is steps in needs analysis. So we should discover learners' needs by identifying necessities, lacks, and wants, or using another framework. And second one is decide on course content and presentation to best address those needs. This analysis focuses on what learners require, while environment analysis examines how the course fits into specific teaching contexts. Alongside these, considering principles of teaching and learning helps ensure the course is effective. The naturally leads, this naturally leads into the next step, looking at principle that guides course design. I think that's all for me. Thank you so much for listening. See you on the next video. Thank you.